Hello, welcome to another edition of Star Wars Headlines. I'm Alex, filling in this week for Rebecca, who is on vacation, and we have our usual Star Wars expert, Mike Celestino. How's it going, Mike?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here with you because
I,
I rarely get to do this.
yeah, I'm happy to have you. And then obviously, like you said, Rebecca's on vacation and she'll be back in a couple weeks as well. Um,
Yeah, this
I'm
is
always
not a
I'm always
permanent change of host.
right. I'm always like hesitant to call myself an expert because I've been watching these like Star Wars trivia competitions on YouTube, and these people know so much more than they just have like this store of vast knowledge that I will never pretend to have. So I do consume a lot of Star Wars, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, I will say compared to me, you're definitely an expert because you know the names of like people in the cantina that never get properly introduced in
Right,
the
right.
film, and so
Yeah,
my level of knowledge is if it's in the films, I probably know it, and beyond that, it's Greek.
fair enough.
I'm gonna say too, for anyone who's listened to your recent "Who's the Boss" podcast, I think you were cursed with leaf blowers because when you and Lee recorded the new episode, you both had leaf blowers. Now I've got leaf blowers going around, which upsets my dog, so it's a double whammy.
Okay,
So I apologize for the barking.
that's
But
okay.
let's dive in. Let me get my screen shared, and we will take a look at what is new in the Star Wars universe this week. The
Yeah.
first thing that was on your list was Star Wars Vision's Ronin. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so this was kind of the biggest news to come out this week. There wasn't a tremendous amount of stuff, but there's this original series coming to Disney Plus called Star Wars Visions. It's an animated series where each episode's going to be directed by a different anime artist, I guess, or anime filmmaker. And it sounds like a really cool idea. All these different creators giving their unique takes on the Star Wars mythos. But now, in addition to that, they've announced a novel based on that series. They've made it very clear that it's not an adaptation of one of the stories that will be in that show, but an original novel inspired by, I believe, one of the stories. It's called Ronin, which, if you know, like samurai mythology or hierarchy, I guess, a Ronin is a samurai without a master. So I'm guessing this will have something to do with the Jedi Knight without a master.
And there are 47 of them, correct? Wasn't that a
40,
movie? 47
oh,
Ronin?
47 Ronin. Yeah, I guess so, right. I was thinking, wasn't there a movie called Ronin with Robert De Niro or somebody?
And I know it's the name, it's the alias Hawkeye took in
Right, right,
the
right.
his most recent MCU appearance,
Yeah,
where he was in Japan.
that's true as well. Yes.
Now, uh, does this end up being now the first Star Wars novel based on a Disney Plus property since they canceled the Mandalorian novel?
Yeah, good point. I hadn't thought about that, but yes, it would be if you don't count the Clone Wars, which predated Disney Plus.
I don't. I'd say
Okay,
Bad Batch counts,
Bad
but
Batch. Yeah, I don't think there's a Bad Batch novel announced yet. So yeah, this would be the first novel based on a Star Wars Disney Plus property. Yes.
cool. And it's coming out October 12th. Presumably, you will get an advance copy and be reading it. Now, do you know anything about the author, Emi Miyako Candon?
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to mention because I looked into her when we got the announcement, and as far as I can tell, she has not written anything before. She's an editor at a different publishing company. So this
Hmm.
book is being published by Del Rey, as you can see by the tweet there. But this woman, Emma Miko Candon, works at a different publisher, I think. So she's in that publishing world. I have to wonder, how someone like that, without a track record of right, because I always figure, okay, they go after the authors who have done some fantasy, some sci-fi, and kind of proven themselves. And this is somebody who doesn't really have that track record, but
Hmm.
clearly I don't know, maybe they read a sample or she wrote a spec novel or something that the people at Lucasfilm Publishing and Del Rey liked, and that's how she got this gig. And then I'm also curious, like, how, this is something based on a show that's not out yet, that no one has seen, likely outside of Lucasfilm. So how does that work? Like, you know, how do they know she'll be good at writing something that she hasn't had access to, or or does she have access to the show beforehand, or the scripts or something? So I'm very curious about the behind the scenes workings of something like that. But I am also curious to read the novel and to find out, why they selected someone without a track record like that. I'm sure she's a talented writer, but we'll find out.
Well, maybe there will be interview opportunities, and maybe she'll be coming to a future episode of Who's the Bossk.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I'm sure they have offered us interviews with a lot of the authors. So that would be my first question. Like, yeah, how did this come about for you? Yeah, and what's your history with the Star Wars franchise? I'm sure she's a big fan. Otherwise, she wouldn't be interested, right? But
Yeah,
we'll
you'd
see.
have to be. Otherwise, I'm sure Pablo Hidalgo would just be like shaking his fist at you with your lack of knowledge.
Yeah, a lot of questions I have about that. So hopefully we'll find out more coming up.
Yeah, and then obviously a new issue of Dr. Aphra, Marvel Comics. This is issue number 8, the Engine Job: Old Wounds. What's going on with Dr. Aphra?
Yeah, I love the Dr. Aphra comics. I'm really into this title, and this arc started off a little slow for me, but it's really picking up, and it has a big like tie-in to the High Republic, which is cool because, as you know, the High Republic takes place like 200 years earlier. This comic takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and Dr. Aphra is like a rogue archaeologist working in the Star Wars galaxy. I call her kind of the inverse of Indiana Jones. Like, one of the first things that she says when they first introduced the character was that she doesn't want these old artifacts like winding up in a museum. Like, she wants them being put to like use. So it's kind of the opposite of Indiana Jones, who says it belongs in a museum, So and she kind of rides the line between good and evil. So she's kind of morally ambiguous. I like that about her. And this issue sees her finding a derelict ship from the High Republic and trying to extract its experimental hyperdrive technology, which is used by the villains of the High Republic called the Nile. Oh, I like that they had an Ortolan bartender in this issue too, as you can see there. Ortolan is the species that is Max Rebo from Jabba's palace.
See, you are an expert. I knew that was. I was going to look at that and say like, oh, it's Max Rebo.
Yeah,
it's one of his species, which nobody knows Grogu's, but I figured this was like an unnamed thing too.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see Ortolan because they don't pop up that often. Like, Max Rebo was pretty much the only one for a long, long time. So it's cool that they found a use for them outside of being in a band in Jabba's palace. So yeah, and then she's got her pal, former lover Sana Starros, there as kind of her unlikely companion on this adventure, and also there's this gang. The name of the gang I'm blanking on right now, but I think it's called the Unbroken Clan, that are also in pursuit of Dr. Aphra. Now I've got the sirens going by outside.
Oh, is that you? I didn't
know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, and then we get also like an interlude on Canto Bight, or the planet is called Cantonica, and then Canto Bight is the city where the casino is. So there's a tie-in to the sequel trilogy as well.
You love your Canto Bight.
Do I?
No, I was joking because
okay.
It's always like whenever you talk about Last Jedi, which we both agree is a solid film, despite all its criticism. That's the one part that you're like, cut out all the Canto Bight.
Well, I don't mind Canto Bight as a concept. I just think that those sequences in The Last Jedi are my least favorite part. It feels like the most like disposable part of that film. But the art's really great. Look at how cool that looks. The cool thing about the hyperdrive technology they're going after is that they can make these little like micro jumps. If you've read the High Republic novels, you know about this. and they've found these ships. The Nihil ships are like embedded in this tree on this planet. I like the name of the planet is Dollar Hide, but with like weird Star Wars apostrophes and stuff. So it's like kind of a Wild West kind of a name. Yeah, there you go. That's a new planet, never before seen. But yeah, look how cool that looks. The ship's like embedded in the trunk of that tree, and there they are, like excavating, exploring the wreck of the ship. Yeah, C Bacon asks if this is a High Republic comic. We were just talking about that. So this takes place 200 years after the High Republic, but they are exploring a derelict High Republic ship. So yeah, you are right that those are High Republic ships, but it's not taking place during the High Republic. It's just kind of tying in and referring back to that part of the timeline.
I apologize. My dog is going a little crazy here, but
That's
let's.
fine.
Anything else you wanted to say about this?
No, I just always recommend. Yeah, Alyssa Wong is the writer for that, and she does a great job. But yeah, Dr. Aphra, can't go wrong. I love those comics.
And we've got some new Lego releases on the horizon now.
Yeah, these are joining the series of busts, the Star Wars busts that are buildable out of Lego. The new ones are the Scout Trooper there on the left and the Darth Vader helmet on the right. They look very cool. They're pretty tiny. I don't know if you've seen them in person, but they're like, I don't know, maybe that big. They're not full helmet size, so don't expect that. It's kind of hard to get the scale from these photos, which I feel is a little misleading on Lego's part. But yeah, they're not as big as you might expect. But what I really liked is this new Probe Droid. Now, I really only collect minifigure scale stuff from Lego, so this is a little bit larger than that, than you would see compared to like the minifigures. The Probe Droid is only like slightly larger, but I do think this looks really neat, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun to build. C. Bacon asked if the Scout Trooper helmet will be able to fold open like in Rebels. I doubt it, because you wouldn't have anything to put underneath it. Usually with these busts, it's pretty like solid.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, it kind of looks like there's possibly a ledge, but probably not. I feel like they would be showing that in these pictures if it could.
Yeah.
Like that would be a thing that they would want you to know.
Yeah, I think. Do we have the picture of all the helmets lined up? It was on the StarWars.com page. I don't know if we included it in our. No. Okay, so they had shown the new ones along with the older ones in the series. But yeah, I don't know. These aren't things that I would buy, but I do think they look really cool.
Yeah, and you talked about the size. We've done a couple of the Disney ones, the brickheads, and those are pretty tiny as well.
Yeah.
So more collectibles, and obviously I want to point out we've got our item of the day, Galactic Snack and Grogu, who looks super fun from Hasbro.
And we've got the. Oh, we didn't talk about that last week. We should talk about Galactic Snack and Grogu, I guess.
We can definitely do that.
Yeah, let's add that to the list. Can we do that on the fly?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to talk about Funko first?
Funko first. Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking of things I don't collect, the Funko vinyls, bobbleheads, but these are new Target exclusives. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn, although oddly from different eras. You would think Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, you would get how they both look together, but it's like old man Obi-Wan from the original film and Qui-Gon from the Phantom Menace. But Obi-Wan does come with a pin, which is cool. That says Amazon exclusive. I thought they were Target exclusive. Oh, okay.
Yeah, from the images look like it's Amazon for both, but I would say that's probably better for collectors. I know Target can sometimes be hard to get things through. Amazon's a little bit easier. And C. Bacon says it's the beard duo is what they were going for. Okay. Obi-Wan with beard, Qui-Gon with beard. Did Obi-Wan grow his beard because of his former mentor?
Yeah, I would think like that becomes like a tradition. Like once you become a Jedi Master, you start growing out your beard. I guess Mace Windu didn't have one. But yeah, even Luke, when he gets older, has the beard. So
Nice.
I don't know. Do you like the Funko stuff?
Um, it depends on what it is. I don't collect any Star Wars Funkos, but there have been items in my Disney fandom that Funko has tackled before others. So like I'm a huge Hocus Pocus fan. I have the Sanderson sisters, the first version. They've done like 3 since then. And then just today they have this new cola series where they come in a Coke can and they're not exactly like Funko Pops. They're more slender, but they're doing Professor Owl, who is from the Disney sing-along songs and originally from Toot Whistle Plunkin' Boom and Melody. And so I'm excited for that one. That was one where I saw it and I was like, I have to have Professor Owl. So it really depends on what it is. I'm not anti-Funko by any means, but especially things like Friends. Like they've done several versions of the Friends from Friends, and it's like these just look like any old person. Like, you know, unless it's you know, in the holiday armadillo, the Hanukkah armadillo costume, Ross. It's like, who is this? This is just, you know, generic person in clothes.
Right.
So that's my main issue with Funko. But I feel like the Star Wars ones, you can easily tell who they're meant to be.
Yeah.
Do we want to jump onto Galactic Snack
Sure.
and Grogu? Should we play this little sizzle video?
Yeah. We've got that up on our YouTube channel. And it's just Grogu eating a bunch of different things from the Mandalorian. And you can pat his head and he holds the little bowl with the squid in it and he eats the macaron. And he's also got the little knob that he likes so much. He makes noises and he reacts to your touch, I guess. And I like he like reaches up to be picked up. It's just fun. Over 9 inches tall. How tall is the real Grogu? He's got to be bigger than that.
Yeah, I feel like my stuffed animal that I have of him is at least 12 inches tall. But yeah, that is great. I love all the things he can do. And this one, they've had the animatronic Grogu that came out, you know, back I think early last year, or around the time of Toy Fair. I think that's where they kind of unveiled him, and then he was up for pre-order. But this one seems like it's got a lot more that it can do. Do you own the animatronic Grogu, or what Grogus do you have?
Oh, we've got a few. I don't think any of them are animatronic. We do have one that kind of talks in his weird like baby talk. And then let me grab this one. Oh.
While you're gone, C Bacon says that Grogu looks terrifying. I don't know. I think maybe the hinged mouth is what does it, but I don't mind it. And then Tony has just informed me the pre-order for Professor Owl has already sold out. But I am convinced that I will somehow find a way to get my hands on one of those soda cans with a Professor Owl inside.
So we've got this Grogu from Hasbro. He's just kind of a large scale action figure. Like he doesn't make any noise or move or anything. I mean, other than, you know, being posable. He doesn't move on his own, and he comes with the frog. And then we also have this one, which was a Target exclusive that they sent over, which is, I don't know. The likeness is better on this one, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that Target one looks a little half-baked. It's like you were supposed to get it home and finish the cooking yourself. Yeah, we've got the animatronic one from Hasbro, and then I have the scented one from Scentsy. And those are my Grogu's. Oh, and I have the Galaxy's Edge little Toydarian.
Oh yeah, we have that.
Yeah,
we have a couple others in the other room.
Yeah,
but not the animatronic.
How many Grogu's is too much?
I mean, including the action figure ones and the Lego ones, I probably have like a dozen, and that's not even like cracking. That's not even putting a dent in the amount that are available.
Right. I do love this though, because I feel like the thing to do on social media was like, I have to go feed my child. You know, with all of the snacks, like when the cookies came out from, I think, William Sonoma after that one episode of season 2, people were like, I'm getting these to feed my child. So I love that this one is like, you actually feed him. And even, I forget which toy company it was, but there's a game where you're like slingshotting frogs into a Grogu mouth as like a kid's game. So I'm curious to know how this levitation ball trick works.
Well, you can see Lee actually pointed this out to me that you
Oh,
can
I
see the
see.
plastic piece like
What?
between his hand and the
Not as
yeah.
fun. Okay. I
It's not
thought
a
maybe it was
magnet or
going to be,
anything.
yeah, I thought it was going to be magnets or some kind of a levitation ribbon or something. A little disenchanted, but
I
still planning to
I
get.
did want to say it's cool that they're using the name Grogu now in the product name and the packaging and stuff, which for a
Yeah.
long time it was obviously just the child, and then fans called it Baby Yoda and stuff. But hey, now we can call it Grogu officially on the box art.
Yes, the statute of limitations of finding out Baby Yoda's name are such that if you didn't watch it now, that's a shame on you. We're talking about it. And then our last item of discussion that was on your list is the most recent episode 54. Congratulations on
Thanks.
Who's the Boss. That means it's been running for over a year now, right?
Yeah, we
You've
started
had your
February of 2020, so yeah, we passed the year mark and over 50 episodes, which is cool. But yeah, just always like to plug the podcast at the end of these Star Wars headline videos. But yeah, we're going through every major project that Lucasfilm was involved with, Lucasfilm or George Lucas, by the way, because there have been some that were just produced by George Lucas but not officially released under the Lucasfilm banner. But this week
mm,
we wrapped up the original trilogy with Return of the Jedi, and our pal Lee from Laughing Place joined me to talk about that.
very cool. Yeah, and I've listened to the beginning of it where you kind of go through your Star Wars news because you always do that, and you beat us to the Star Wars headlines usually with the timing of your releases. So if
Yeah.
you want your Star Wars headlines in audio form only, you can get that at the beginning of every Who's the Bossk episode. But you're now on the last of the original trilogy. How do you feel looking forward at the slate of Lucasfilm projects that lie ahead? I know you've got some cool ones, but some interesting ones.
Yeah, I'm actually more excited about this upcoming period of Lucasfilm because the original trilogy has been talked to death. But like next week is a movie that I've never seen before called Twice Upon a Time, which was released under the Lucasfilm banner, and it's their first animated feature. I've just never seen it, so I bought the DVD off eBay because it's out of print. It was only released through the Warner Archive, which I'm sure you know about. So it was never
Yeah.
available in stores or anything. So I'm very curious to watch and talk about that. And then, the mid '80s was a pretty prolific time for Lucasfilm outside of Star Wars, but including Star Wars, we're going to be talking about the Ewok films, made for TV Ewok films coming to Disney Plus. The
We'll be doing a
cartoons.
TV club on that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are
Or movie
doing.
club.
I guess
Movie
they
club
count as
double feature.
movie TV hybrid. Yeah.
TV made for TV movies, movie club.
And then there's going to be Willow. You and I are going to be talking about Return to
Return to
Oz,
Oz.
which is very exciting.
It's gonna be good. The
Super
wheelies are
exciting.
coming.
I don't know if I've ever watched that movie in HD, which is
Oh,
it's available on Disney Plus now.
yeah, and
Um,
I actually had the Disney Movie Club Blu-ray that they put out
okay,
2 or 3 years ago. Which so yeah, why,
because
why I don't know.
I never saw it in the theater, and I watched it a ton as a kid. Just on, I don't know, would they show it on Disney Channel?
Thank the maker I didn't see it in the theater. That would have I was
Yeah,
scared enough of it on Disney Channel and VHS. I think we rented it first.
yeah.
And there were parts of it I would watch as a kid, and there were parts where I had to leave the room. And the wheelies and Princess Mombi's Hall of Heads were both
Yep.
trigger moments for me where I was like, I have to leave. I know this part's bad. Um,
But you have to watch the whole thing for our discussion.
yeah, no. I really enjoy it now. We'll be diving much more into that then.
Cool. Yeah, so that's a
Yeah,
little
and
preview.
you've got the Indiana Jones movies in there
Yeah,
too.
we've already done Raiders of the Lost Ark, but yeah, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. Very excited to talk about those. Young Indiana Jones Chronicles will do. By the way, I bought all those DVD sets recently. I
Yeah,
have
'cause
not
they
watched.
released that in chunks, didn't they? Young
Yeah,
Indiana Jones.
boy, I'm going to talk about this on the show, but the way they released the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, this is just a nightmare because, of course, George Lucas had to monkey with it, and
Mhm.
they took out all the modern day segments with old Indiana Jones where he had the eye patch, and they re-edited all of them and released them so that the stories take place in chronological order. Because if you watch the show when it first aired, you'd get one story with really young Indiana Jones in like 8-year-old Indiana Jones, and then there'd be one of like 19-year-old Indiana Jones. But now they're all in like, age appropriate order or whatever. So I don't know. We'll be talking about that too. A bunch of stuff.
Are there fan edits of those like there are for the original trilogy and things like that?
I know you can find the old Indiana Jones segments on YouTube, which I'm
Mm.
gonna rewatch along with the show or parts of the show. I don't know if I can do all of it, but
No
I'd be.
despecialized edition though.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe
Okay.
somebody has the original cuts up somewhere. I don't know. But they did, of course, leave intact the episode where Harrison Ford returned to
Mm.
play middle-aged Indiana Jones. Uh, but yeah, I'm curious to see all that stuff.
McClunky. Uh, and Warner Archives, you mentioned. I'm hearing rumors that their days are numbered. That I guess they've announced their last 4 for $44 sale, and they're branding it as like the last time they're doing that. So it seems like that, with the decline of physical media, might be coming to an end, which is sad because, as you mentioned, there's movies that have never been available
Yeah,
any other way through that video on demand service, and even then they've taken things out of print from there. So it's
I know. I kept
that's
meaning to
really
buy Penn and Teller Get Killed, the Penn and Teller movie from the
mm,
80s that like flew under the radar, and I never bought it. I'm pretty sure it's got to be out of print by now, but
mm.
I should look for that on eBay and see what it's going for too.
Yeah. You never know. Sometimes those things are like in the hundreds. Um,
Yeah.
well, anything else you want to say about Star Wars before we wrap up for this week? We've run out of our headlines.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't a big week, and we recorded this before the this week in Star Wars video came out, so we'll see what came from that. I don't know. But yeah, we had shifted this around because I was doing an interview. Well, I guess I'll mention this. I'm going to be interviewing the composer for the Clone Wars series, and he's also doing the Bad Batch. His name is Kevin Kiner. And
And he
I'm
did Rebels too, didn't he?
Yeah, he's done a bunch of Star Wars animation, so I'm very excited to talk to him. And then that interview ended up getting rescheduled anyway, so we didn't have to move this to noon. But that's the way it goes. But yeah, that interview will be featured on the podcast, Who's the Bossk, and then I'll transcribe it for laughingplace.com as well.
Great. Very exciting. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to everyone who commented and shared questions that we could share with you guys. And may the force be with you.
Grogu versus Tarkin. Bye. Do I have to click end, I guess? Bye, everybody.